Hey, it's me, Monte. Happy Wednesday. On, Monday. It was just a Monday, and I had a case of the Mondays, and so I didn't want to pick up anything and vlog. On Monday, what did we do? We're on Unit 4, Week 2. So we read The Team of Fish, and then we wrote, this is the writing prompt that comes from Humble Beginnings, and we just used it in our, I can't find it, just our writing folder. So nothing special, no place to draw, and we wrote about how fish help each other. And so that was our writing for the day, and then we started the day, it's Monday, so Mystery Science Monday. That's gonna have to change because next year we're not gonna have Mystery Science, I don't think. So Mystery Science Monday, and we did it it was a mini episode that went with like butterflies and camouflage, and how the flowers and where they're at can camouflage them, or some butterflies are designed to where they look scary to ward off attackers, predators. And so you were supposed to give all this to the kids. I just copied it, and then I cut these two, and these are the two I passed out. So they colored and designed their, I was gonna say caterpillars. Used to be caterpillar. They colored and designed their butterflies, and then they got a card, and the way they folded it would allow the butterfly to sit in the card, and then they were supposed to give it to somebody. I think we just wrote down like enjoy the sunshine or something like that. So we did that on Monday, and Monday was just the Monday. Nothing really special. Tuesday was our 120th day of school. I put a little tiny, it came from like a party pack for I think Cinco de Mayo a couple of years ago, and it just has like fringe coming down, so we put that, and then everybody bought their snack. Leftovers are right there. I had a lot of leftovers. I'm using the leftovers as my AR prizes, as snacks when they're leaving for first recess. And so I'm using that up. I didn't send it back home because I had use for it. And so then for the 120th day of school, I showed you in the last one, they used this. I took away the little hole that was right there. So they used this in a sentence strip, and it was their little hat. I have a crown, but this was in the pack that I printed out. We did our predictions and our exercises. They played a game with a partner who can get to 120 first. I set the timer for 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes, and they wrote down as many words as they could. And then at the end of the day for PE, it was more exercises. They just did this with a partner, and every time they did something, they colored it in. And then I used this to make our snack mix. And so I had 2 bowls at each table, and it had a different ingredient. I gave them some time, and they put like the 10 gummy bears right there, and then the 10 pieces of popcorn. And then I walked around and rotated all the bowls, and then I had M&Ms, and then I had cereal. So they put 10 of each on each one. And then at the end, we put it in the bag, and we went out for some extra recess because I said you can walk, talk, and eat your snack. And then all the snacks went back inside their backpack to go home. And then our last thing we did yesterday was a banner. And so we decided on little decorations that we can use. So we said 20 happy faces somewhere on the banner, 20 hearts, 20 stars, 20 curly cues, and then 20 squares, because they said that could be like confetti. And so they decorated their banner, and then they cut it out. And so they had a banner that just said 120th day of school. So they walked out with a hat and a little banner that said it was 120th day of school. And that was school yesterday. They were fun and excited. And we did do, we did read The Team of Fish, but we didn't do anything with it. We just reread it. So today is Wednesday. It's our short day. We've already gone to library. It's lunchtime. What have we done so far? We did math. Now, today was my last day of reviewing reviewing module 4 for my friends that didn't pass. So I have 14 and 10, 14 friends that passed, 10 friends that didn't. So I did the other lessons inside our module 4. Today a lot of them are like, I understand it now. And it's like, awesome. And so tomorrow I told them, I'm going to give you your test again, but it's going to have different problems and you're just going to do it for me again. I also showed them like, okay, let's look at base 10. We can do base 10 blocks also. As long as they use one of those methods to get their answers, it's fine with me. So what were they supposed to have learned? So let's say it's 23 plus 17. Okay. They're supposed to number bond this out into 10s and 1s. And then they're supposed to put it back together again. So first they're supposed to add their 10s. And then they go and they add their 1s. Awesome. That's our answer. Great. Some of them still couldn't get it. Now I show them, okay, well, let's do it another way. Like you already know how to do this way, but we haven't been concentrating on it. So I had to do a base 10. So I said, okay, here's our quick 10s, 10, 20, 1, 2, 3. Let's do our quick 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have to add them all. And so hopefully tomorrow when I say, here's your test, figure it out, because they do have to figure it out using a variety of methods. They just focused on the decomposing numbers a lot, so I focused on it a lot because I'll say 7 lessons were on decomposing numbers, plus the 2 extra ones I did today. So we went over that. Tomorrow they'll have the test. My other friends are doing module 5, which is going over geometry. It's going over shapes. So we made like flashcards today on some of our shapes. So that's what they're doing. So about 14 of them are doing shapes. The other ones are going over the math again, and then tomorrow they're going to test. So hopefully I have more passing tomorrow. We did our 4 minutes phonics. We are doing our long E with a vowel pattern of EA, EE, IE, or just sometimes it's E by itself. So they're learning another way to spell the long E. So when we come back in, we're going to work in our Your Turn practice books. We are doing a team of fish. We are going to listen to it again, and then they're going to come to the carpet with this, and then they are going to do main idea and detail. So that's what we're working on this week, is main idea and detail. And so we're going to do that. And then we're just going to listen and follow along with the new story in our big book. So right now, Wonders has 2 books. I call it the little book and the big book. So we're going to do that, main idea and detail. And then later on in a little bit, we'll just listen to the other story because it's our first day being exposed to it. So I just listen to it. That's all we do. There's not going to be groups. And so I'm going to give them Lexia time. And while they're doing Lexia, I'm going to pull kids. So that way Lexia and then reading time. So that way it's half and half, and then we'll switch. The reading time, kids, I'm going to pull them or some of them to see how they're doing on their high frequency words. I send home the whole list, like these are your high frequency words, but I teach the ones that go with our sound, and those are the ones I test. So I don't test all of them every single time I test. I just test, like this week I'm doing the high frequency words that have the EA, EE, long E with just the E by itself and IE. And so whatever Dolce and Fry words I find, those are the ones I use along with the story. So they get phonics because those are the words that they should be able to sound out. And also there's some that they just have to know by heart. So they do have, like, I think this week they have 12 high frequency words because I combine all those. I'm trying to eat my food. So I'm going to do that. When they come back in, we're going to do that. I'm going to give them time. I'm going to pull kids, and then we're going to work on our writing because we didn't write about bats. And so we have all our stuff inside our mailboxes. And so we're going to pull it out and we're going to write about bats because our next writing is informational writing. So we're going to do that. And then after school, I'll see you guys again. I'll let you know what we did the rest of the day, and then I'm going to work on my sub-plans. So I have about 5 minutes to eat my lunch, which is fine with me because after school, I can always finish. And I'll see you later. It's after school. It's 3 o'clock, 3:05 to be exact. What did I do? Right now, after school, it's minimum day or it's early out day. So we got out at 1:45. And I spent the last hour doing report cards. So report cards are almost done. I need to fix math because I am retesting those that didn't pass the decomposing numbers and composing them. Addition, I guess we can say tomorrow. So I'll have those scores. I have about half of my math done. I need to finish it tomorrow. My problem is it says addition, subtraction. Everything I've done has been addition. Addition, addition, addition. Like, and even the module says it's addition and subtraction, but I don't remember ever seeing subtraction in it. We've done addition, addition, addition. So I hope a subtraction comes later. We'll see. But remember, I was doing my math. We did addition, or we were doing addition when we had to switch. And so it's kind of like, and I already warned the second grade, like, I don't feel like we're gonna cover what we need to cover, but we'll see because we changed in January. So I did my report cards, and then I went to go make my copies for Friday because, again, I'm gonna get to be a mommy on Friday, so I'm not gonna come in. So I have that. Tomorrow, we have to do our kindness calendar, which I forgot to do last week, and so we're gonna do it tomorrow and Friday. I'll leave note for the substitute. So tomorrow, we'll just focus on the things that we can get done. We'll leave it at our seat, and then they'll just put little stars on it because on Friday, the lesson goes with kindness calendar. So I have to get it in for the SEL lesson on Friday. After lunch, we worked on bats. And so we did, here's a friend's, we did a drawing of bat, we labeled, and so then they used their facts that they got. I don't have the facts here, the fact sheet, but they used the facts that they got and they wrote down, I told them 5 facts about bats that they learned from their reading and then listening to me read also. My friend right here, she wrote, I learned many things about bats. Bats use echolocation to find their food. Bats sleep in the daytime, then they are awake in the night. They hibernate in the winter. Bats are amazing animals. So that was her writing. Again, we just did like a little drawing on top, and then we did some labeling. Not all of the papers look like that, which is expected. So that one is, you know, a good example. And then I have, let me see. Here's this person. I can show you the whole thing because I can't even read their name. So here's another example. I learned many things about bats. And then it says bats are green or yellow or brown or black and 3 masks. Bats are kind bat. So here's another example. So we have examples of friends that understood the assignment and friends that need a little bit more help. And good thing is that we're not done with writing. We're not done with informational writing. This is just like the starting part. We've done informational writing, and we actually have done informational writing on bats before, but we'll do it again with a different animal, different thing. So this is just like, you know, here's another friend. Here's a friend that needs to work on his penmanship. So I'm gonna go through and read these. And so this is going to be, I gave everybody a 2. We go 3, 2, 1. I gave everyone a 2 for informational writing because we just started on it. So I can't give them an ending grade for it. So I'm gonna look through these, but that's what we did today. So we did that, and then we used our Your Turn practice book just so we can use the, what is that called? Graphic organizer for main idea and detail. And so we're going to, so we did that also. So we listened to the story and wrote our main idea and details. We did our writing, we did our drawing, and then they shared their writing. So I asked friends if they wanted to share. They raised their hands, and so then I picked on, I think, 5 friends to read, and that was our afternoon. I have a very messy desk. What else? So when we came in from lunch, I passed out, it was finished up time, I guess we'll call it. So I passed out their things from groups that they didn't finish, and then I had them work on that. The friends that finished all their group work did Lexia. As they were working, I pulled friends to do high frequency words. And so I have their list of who met their high frequency words and not. They're in columns of 20, so I just call it list 1, list 2, list 3, like that. And then I tested them. So I don't test them all. So I have one friend that stopped. Last time I tested was on list 3, so I only had her read list 4, which was like column 4 and column 5. So list 4 and 5, and she passed all of them. So she knows her first 100 words. And that's those fry words. So I'm gonna go through, I have about half my kids I still need to test. And so I'll do that tomorrow during groups. So I'm not gonna pull a group tomorrow. I'll pull my ELD group in the morning. I'll pull my ELD group again in the afternoon. But then when I pull my extra group, it's usually my middles. I'm not gonna pull them. I'm gonna finish testing because I need that for report cards, because some of them can get 3s on that where they know their high frequency words. So I want to be able to give as many 3s as I can. But it's a little bit difficult because 3 means they mastered end of the year and we haven't taught everything. So it's kind of like they have a 3 in what we've done, but we haven't taught everything. So I can't give them a 3 because we still have that stuff that they haven't done. So I have to give them a 2, which is progressing. But a lot of parents understand, like, this is end of the year. I have to look at the end of the year. So we did that, or I did that while everyone else was doing their finishing up or Lexia. So tomorrow's gonna be my Friday. I have my lesson plans done, but they're just not written. So I have everything that I'm going to do. My SEL lesson is going to be on bucket filling. And so I found a sort from, it doesn't say, so I'll have to link it below. I think it's the same person that came with the kindness calendar, and luckily it's the same kindness calendar that the counselor gave a couple of weeks ago that I threw away. So they're gonna do a bucket filling sort before the SEL lesson, and then they're going to do a writing of I can be a bucket filler after the lesson. So that's gonna go with our SEL lesson. I'm just going to tie it into my sub plans. And then something that I found that went with like the heart, it's the same person that made the heart math page, is a rainbow one. Don't know how I feel about it. I made it smaller, so that way it's not going to be this big gigantic thing, because last time it was humongous. I made it last year, so I made it itty bitty. So 50%, I shrunk it down. And so they're going to do this with the substitute. So this is going to be their math. So it's going to make a rainbow, which goes with March. To me, March is rainbows and leprechauns. So they're going to do this, and it's a subtraction page. And so tomorrow I'm going to do the subtraction with them just to show them. And then I'm going to have the substitute do a couple with them before they do it by themselves. But the coins will go on the clouds, and then the clouds go at the end of the rainbow. So it's going to be a rainbow with 2 clouds at the end and coins on it. So that's going to be my math. For reading, they're going to use their reading books, and they're going to read our same story that we listened to today, and I don't remember the name, but then they're going to do a nonfiction graphic organizer to where they're going to fill in the main idea and then details that they find out from the story. So that's going to be our reading also. So I have reading, I have math, I have extra like SEL stuff. And then they're going to do the grammar pages from our book. So I do use this with a substitute, and they usually do the phonics page that goes with the week. They do the high frequency word page that goes with the week. And then what I think I'm going to have them do is there's these little stories, and it's a little book, so they'll rip out the book, and then they're going to answer the questions. And so this is going to be, it says main idea detail again, so they're going to do that together. So that's what the sub's going to do. So part of their activity is going to be working in the Your Turn practice book. That's what I have. That's what I've done the last 3 days. We'll see what I do tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Friday, so we'll see what I film. If I film something, we'll have another video. If not, this is the video for the week. I am going to share what I'm going to do for St. Patrick's Day. I do have that stuff here. Next week's going to be St. Patrick's Day. The kids want to do a leprechaun trap, but as a parent, I've done leprechaun traps and no me gusta. I'm gonna jam. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time. It's Thursday, it's lunchtime. I'm just gonna tap this into the end of yesterday's video. It's gonna be one video this week, but it's okay. What happened this morning? This morning I walked in the office. I not knowingly, but I locked my keys in the room yesterday. And so I had to make a stop in the office to get the extra spare so I could open my room. And when I was there, they asked me if I can fill in for an IEP since a general education teacher has to be in there. So I said, sure. And so I started my day off with a sub in my room. The kids just pretty much did reading. And I was back in and I just kept with what I was going to have the sub do. We did some writing. I'll show you what the writing was right now. We're doing informational writing. And so I know that for our last writing test, it's going to be a how-to. It's how to save water. So I'm starting how-to writing. So we just wrote a how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Here's an example of what the kids wrote. And so on one side, we did our ingredients and the materials that we needed to make our peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then on the other side, we worked together to write down the steps to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And so this was just our first one. We'll do another one later. And then after we did that, Art Kids Hub had a peanut butter and jelly quick drawing. So we did that just for a little fun activity after. So that was our little writing activity that I did. It was really quick with the substitute, but it fit in with what we have to do for our writing test. And so when I came back in, they were gonna barely start that. And so I just did it with them. So our morning was different because we started with writing. They did their reading, then we did our writing, and then we went into math. Math started after recess, which is a lot later than usual, an hour later. We are working on module 5, which is shapes. And so yesterday, my one group that's already starting module 5 did flat shapes, 2D shapes. And then today we started with our 3D shapes / solid shapes. And so we were making pretty much flashcards. That's what it had. It has us talking about it and making charts, but I gave them paper and I was having them make like flashcards. And so we were writing down the attributes of the shapes and then also a drawing of it. And for the 3D shapes, we wrote down an example of what like a cylinder was in the real world. And then for my other group, we did our tests. I just gave them the same test from last week and they had to either solve it. So I told them solve it, and they can either do it decomposing the numbers or using base 10 and drawing it, because the standard is with various strategies. And so if they can't figure it out how to do the decomposing it already, if they got it right and the only way they can get it right is by putting the base 10, then that works with me. So in that group, I think it was 10 kids tested. I had 3 that didn't pass, which makes my total of not passing 3 out of 24. I'm going to double check that, but 3 out of 24 now know how to solve using a strategy, adding 2-digit numbers. And so that to me, I can go on. So on Monday, everyone's going to be on module 5, but we'll be on lesson 3 for one group and lesson 1 for the other group, which is fine with me. I think for my friends that are already on module 5, on Monday, I'll do my math practice book pages or math book pages. So that way my other group has time to catch up, and that way everyone will be on the same page, and it'll just make it easier on me. But I'll keep the groupings how they were or how they are right now. We're at lunch. When we come back, we're going to do our phonemic awareness. We are going to do, I need to get things for groups. We're going to do our phonemic awareness. We're going to do, I think it's going to be IE for our 4-minute phonics. I need to print our decodable booklet for our reading that goes over Unit 4, Week 2. And so we're going to do that also. And then we'll get into our new story, our second story in our big book, as I call it. and then we'll do, I think, a writing with that. So that's why I have planned. After school, I'm gonna have to do my sub plans because I have sub tomorrow. I'm gonna go to museum with my own second grader. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna be out. It's after school. I made my sub plans. I'm gonna leave. The sub plans are on my desk. The copies are on my desk. I have Champ Bucks, M&M's, Scooby Snacks. Scooby Snacks are for AR, and I have a clean spot for them. And I am going to leave because I have to go pick up my high schooler. Tomorrow I get to be a mommy, so I won't be here tomorrow. So today is my Friday. Still have to wake up early, still have to make breakfast, still have to make lunch, still have to pack up everybody, but then I get to drive to a museum and play around. It's supposed to rain again. We'll see what that looks like, but that's what I'm doing. Even if the field trip's canceled, I'm still off. So I'm gonna put in for my sub and I am going to go. I hope you had a great week. I will see you next time.